Right. So about a decade ago, when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I used to compete like almost every month. So this was mainly because of my instructor at the time used to put on jiu-jitsu tournaments. So I used to get free entry. I was like, hey, why not? It's free. I'd go and help out, and I could compete for free, get the practice, get the experience. Now back then, there wasn't as much focus on um, there wasn't much focus on recording. So out of like all the competitions I used to do at white belt and blue belt, there's only about maybe two videos I've actually found, and I didn't put them online. Online, other people have. Now, I think it's always good to look back on what you have competed at and sort of think about what you're doing wrong and start sort of analysing what you used to do, what you could do to improve, what you used to do. It's been so many years since I did those competitions and these videos that I getting to the point where I don't cringe as much, where I start feeling I am terrible at this, I don't deserve to say I know how to do jiu-jitsu. Okay, I'm getting to that stage now where it's like, hey, I was still learning. I'm still learning now, but I can look back on that and kind of think, oh, okay, I can understand what I was going for and what I should have done in that situation, especially because it's a competition, you're under pressure. So I've got a video that was in I think it was the last MMA fight I had. It was a tournament, so it was two people. But it's not really an MMA. There's no striking to the head. So back when I started competing, there's a popular category called like battle grapple or strike and grapple. That always seemed to be like every tournament had that as an option. And basically all it was MMA, so MMA gloves. You can punch and kick. You had shin protectors on as well, but you can punch and kick, but just not to the face. So a lot of this was like kind of MMA without head strikes. So the rules for this is same as a jiu-jitsu competition. You have to get your points or submit. Now, for this video, what I'm going to go through is in Richmond in the UK. This was an odd set of rules, which was, it was striking, no headshots, but you got points for position. So like IBJJF, you get dominant positions, you get points. However, it was also that if you submit your opponent, you keep going. So if you submit your opponent, you get like 5 points or 10 points or something, and then they reset you standing, and then you go again. So you're getting that like 5 minutes of fighting, which was, I've never had any competition like that. So I went into this competition thinking, right, I need to take them down and get those points. There's no points for striking. Yet when I got there on the day, it seemed that it was all kickboxers. So they all came in thinking they was going to have a kickboxing fight without headshots. So I went in with the feeling of I'm just going to take them down, not realizing that they were looking to take me out with strikes to the body. So let's begin. Let's just move this out of the way. Okay, so this was MMA, but based on... Okay. So I was minus 84 at this point, so I was very skinny. Like right now, I'm in the high 90s in terms of weight. So this is probably like the lightest I've competed at for a long, long time. Now this guy here, now as you can see, he was a bit taller than me, but I had some strength. I was shorter but stockier. So immediately, before even the match sort of began, I immediately just went to, I dived into him thinking, right, I'm going to need to get a body lock on him. I need to get him to the ground. I need to start working to get points because I don't want this to be a striking match because the striking is not going to give me anything. Went for a very, I went for a very bad takedown there. So you see, I put my hips across. I'm looking to trip him with a otashi. So put it in, it's like, nothing. He just hops around. I keep driving forward, starting to get the underhooks on him, and he's hitting me. And I was just starting realizing, oh, he's turning this into a fight. He's turning this into a punching. So I got the underhooks. I think, right, I'll dive in with a knee. Not really looking at this. I'm just looking to get him. I've kneed him. I managed to get his head, and now I've got the guillotine. And at this point here, I had the guillotine, and I'm lifting him off the ground, so you can see on his feet. I'm off the ground, I'm hanging him off of him. And this moment seemed to last forever. And I was just like, okay, what am I going to do now? And back then, I was, I think I was like a blue belt with a couple of tags. That it was, I need to, what do I do? Do I put him to the side? Do I try and keep hanging him? I don't think I can hold his body weight up in this weird angle. Well, you'll see what I do. So I'm hanging him. I've got that thing. It's in deep, but he started punching. So I started punching back as well because I'm kind of just reacting to this. So I'm here thinking, this is jiu-jitsu. I need to get him down to the ground. I need to get my points. And this is a guy who's either an MMA or kickboxer. So he's hitting me, and I just keeps on popping into my head, hey, I'm going to hit him back. And it's just like, no, you've got the guillotine. Choke him. But like, so every now and then, whenever he hits me, you'll notice I retaliate. I don't really initiate the strikes because I keep forgetting. I keep thinking this is a jiu-jitsu competition, and he strikes me and reminds me, oh, I could hit him back. So I've still got his head in the guillotine position, and that's where I mess up. Okay, so right there, I'm thinking I don't think I'm going to finish him off in this position. So I need to pull guard. So at this point here, I'm thinking, right, he's striking me. I don't feel the position. So what I should have done is push my wrist up and got my neck, like, to cut off both sides. But right now, the choke was really on the forearm, cutting off the throat. So as I'm pulling, he's getting that wind choke, but he's not getting the blood choke. And I wanted that, which now I think, okay, you need to pull that up. Pull your arm up when you get in the choke for the guillotine to really seal that choke in. But right now, I've just sort of got him here, pulling him up, and the choke is in the wrong place. But I'm thinking, right, I need to finish this off. I'm used to doing this from guard. I go to pull guard, and I don't pull guard properly. So I pull him in, one leg's up, my left leg is up, ready to wrap around, but the right leg, it was nowhere near, it didn't catch up. So because of the way I fell and the way it is, I should have really sort of had the sort of opposite leg. I didn't put my foot on his hip at all. So one leg comes down, pulling guard, but that right leg is flat on the ground when he hits. And immediately his reaction is to start passing. I tried to block his knee with my hand, but oh no. Now he's half guard. I wanted him full guard. If I was going to finish off that guillotine joke, it's hard to do from half guard, while full guard, I could have been successful. So I've got his head, and now I've got that moment of, right, what do I do? I love half guard. I go for that in like most of my competitions back then. What I was most successful as a blue belt was getting half guard, getting the lockdown on the foot, sweeping for the electric chair. I just loved doing that. And I was like, this is my favorite position. Yes, I'm in half guard. But I've got a guillotine. What do I do? And I'm sort of panicking, like, do I try and finish off the guillotine? Do I abandon it and go for my half guard game? Go for the lockdown? Go for a sweep for the electric chair? Look, you see that on my left leg, I'm trying to get the lockdown. So I'm wrapping the leg from the outside in, hooking the toes. But what's terrible about this is the shields on your shins and the foot, the kickboxing things, it's difficult to get the lockdown with them. You're used to just having gi pants or no gi, so you've just got skin on skin. I couldn't get the lockdown properly with the fact that we were wearing these bulky shin shields. But I've got the lockdown, thinking I'm going between the guillotine and the lockdown. I should have made a decision on what I'm doing. So at this point, I'm just like, right, I'm just going to make him panic while I try and get this lockdown, and I can't get my toes underneath his. And then he realizes he's stuck. He starts punching me, and I think, right, I'm just going to go. That point, I gave up on the lockdown and immediately started, right, I'm going to get my leg around, push his leg, and I'm going to go for the guard, finish off the choke. But as I'm transitioning to full guard, his head pops out, and it's like, oh no, I've lost the choke, and I've lost my favorite position. A lot of people love guard. I love half guard. I love getting that lockdown, which was painful. So he starts raining down punches because he can posture up, and I think, right, sorry, I'm going back to the half guard. So I've got the half guard. I managed to get that underhook, which is the next step. And I'm like, okay, so I need to just try and get that lockdown with the toes again. I'm trying the niche, the shin shields are really stopping me from doing it. But I've got the underhook on my left arm on his. But he starts wrapping up the neck. Okay, so I'm getting this. I was like, okay, what's going on? Right, I need to get that lockdown. He starts putting pressure on me, but I start grabbing that leg. Got that electric chair sweep, going for a sweep. But the fact that he's got control of my head, I'm not able to duck under him. I should have put that his leg over my shoulder, held him, and I'm looking to force him to do the splits, which is what the electric chair is, and that was my go-to move. So he managed to save himself by grabbing my neck and stopping me from being able to duck under. I had the whole sort of movement. I might have been able to swing it a bit better, but that was my go-to move. I was like, yes, I've got this. And at this point, he's put this choke on me. He's hitting me, and I was like, oh man, I need to get my head free. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get that electric chair. He's stuck at me. And you see that look on my face there. The way he's squeezing me, I'm actually getting a bit choked. It's very difficult to finish off a guillotine choke from this position, but it's still partly on. So I'm like, right, I know you can't finish me off, but I need to sort of defend this because this hurts. And I need to free my head to be able to do my half guard game. And in this situation, it's like, okay, he's not going to go for a submission besides the guillotine, which he can't really finish off in that position. He's not got any points because half guard is me attacking. It's not dominant, so no one's got points at this point. But the way that he's angled, he starts punching me in my exposed ribs. So right there, I'm looking to get the half guard, the lockdown on that leg again. I'm trying to control that arm on my head just to stop him from getting me. I was like, right, I need to get my head free to be able to move my body. This is where he starts raining out punches. I'm like, oh god, he might just sit on me and punch me. I managed to come up, but I underhook the opposite leg, realized I couldn't get the momentum, and then I realized I can't get that momentum there. I dive under, I'm stuck. I should have had more momentum. He starts raining down punches again, and I realize, all right, I need to come back up and get to that underhook on my with my left arm on his far side as much as possible. Again, he still thinks this is a kickboxing competition or an MMA. Where I was like, hey, no points in punching. You're not going to knock me out from the ground. I need to work my jiu-jitsu. I want to tap him out. Okay, I realize I'm stuck. I get that underhook, come back under. He goes straight for that head control again. And I was like, oh man, I had never seen anyone react that way. So every time I'm going for my half guard game, he's blocking it by grabbing my head. I was like, oh, sod it. I'm just going to go to sort of standard half guard. I go back with my leg over to try and get that lockdown. He sort of steps back to get away from my lockdown on that leg. I use that to get onto my knees. He's still controlling my head at this point, but I think, right, I'm going to dive forward. I'm possibly putting myself at risk of a guillotine, but I didn't feel I was at risk from this guy giving me a guillotine. So from here, I don't really feel anything. I've got control of that arm. I'm pushing forward. I get back onto my knees. I'm driving forward. At this point, no points has been made. He's not got that guillotine. So I'm just like, right, I need to take him down and put him onto his side. I managed to drive forward, land on his back. It's the exact mirror of the opposite before. I think when he fell he was kind of hoping that he'd land on his guard, and he didn't. He landed with one leg down, so I immediately start passing. I put the weight down. My neck's not really, I don't feel my neck's in trouble. I managed to free my neck. Now I'm in, it's kind of, can't tell if that's butterfly, or at least he's got one butterfly hook and one leg round. And now we're coming to the end of the round, so I'm starting thinking, right, I've got to attack. He locks up his guard, he's trying to control my posture. I start punching him back, just to open him up. And he does. He opens up his legs, opens up his open guard to stop me from, punching? I think he's trying to get me away from him. Like, I would have thought that if he was opening up his legs like that, he would have been going for an armbar or twisting his hips to get that armbar or triangle attempt. But he didn't really. He just opened his guard to maybe try and get a sweep in, I guess. So I pass, push his leg down, get side control, first points of the match, and immediately the bell rang. So that was not the best display of jiu-jitsu, if I'm completely honest. And this is my first sort of reaction to realizing that, hey, this isn't just a jiu-jitsu contest. Some of these people are here to punch. They're here to strike as well. And I was like, okay, I have to get away from the normal way of thinking of I can't be in, say, half guard with my normal underhook, because that's exposing my open ribs, gives the opponent the option to punch. Like, the adrenaline's hitting me, and I'm not feeling these punches. But if he kept on punching one point with those small gloves, definitely would have started feeling it. But for that one, that was literally just at the last second. That would have been a draw. I felt that I was trying to set up. He gave me a very good counter to the lockdown when I was going for the sweep, controlling that head. I don't think anyone had shown me that before, so I started realizing that is a defense. So something that this guy taught me, and I really got this one just because I managed to pass that guard and get to side control and keep the control, which was lucky because it was literally just at the end, and that was the first match. So the next one was, I didn't really get too much for a rest, to be honest. I think I was maybe 5 minutes rest before the actual final. So this was one round. The final, which I was going into, because there was only three of us in the weight category. The final was going to be 2 rounds. Now, as I said, if you submit them, they stand you up and you start again. You get points for a submission. So it's not actually in the interest of the person to submit anyone in this competition. It's good to pin them down and get the positions for the points if you wanted just to win. If you felt like you were overpowering and you were way better than the opponent, yeah, maybe just you can set up a submission, take them down again, do another submission. But these guys were quite strong. Okay, so next guy. Final round, round 1. Immediately, I am not messing around. I do not care about striking. I need to get you on the ground. I need to get my points. This is not a kickboxing match. There's no points for striking. I had to get him down, so I drove him straight into the corner. I was like, right, I'm going to drag him down. And then he gives me his leg. Looking for that submission. So immediately, I'm thinking, boom, pick him up. Now, I think I wasn't very confident with my stand-up at this point. So my sort of takedowns. So you notice that I'm trying to grab that leg and my head is on the outside. I was getting a single leg, my head on the outside, which just opened me up to the guillotine choke. I'm surprised that he didn't take advantage of that more. I should have had my head on the inside if I was going for a single leg. But I was thinking, right, he's in the corner, I'm picking him up, he's going for a ride. And at this point, I don't know where to throw him. So I walk into the middle of the ring. And I was like, oh, the way he's angled, you'll see. I'll take him to the middle of the ring. And boom, slam. So with that slam, I've walked into the middle, and I'm thinking, I'm a bit of a showman in this tournament. So I was kind of thinking, right, shall I do a spin? Shall I spin him around a little bit because it's funny? But I was like, no, just get him down. I was like, the way that he was angled on me, I was like, right, I'm going to have to sort of drop him like a sack of potatoes. And I wanted a big splash. I didn't just want to drop him. I wanted to slam him down. But what was a bad thing about that is I couldn't tell exactly where the angle of my head was. So I was like, if I slam him down, there is a big chance I'm going to land straight on the top of my head and knock myself out. And there was a 50-50 chance at this point where I was just like, sod it, I'm doing it. So this could be one of those embarrassing bloopers of me knocking myself out after slamming someone. But luckily I didn't, and he sort of just landed. And you see that he sort of sat up straight away, so he... But immediately I pass to side control, and I get that perfect side control. I get my points, I got the takedown, and I got the... actually, I'm not sure if I got the other points for guard pass. So right now I'm thinking, right, this is where I want to be. Besides, if I'm on the bottom, I love half guard. But if I'm on top, I love side control. Like, full mount's good, back mount's good. I love side control. I will stay here and start looking for that neck, start looking for the arm, to go for a sort of Kimura or an Americana or a straight armbar. But I like this. I can put a lot of pressure in from this. So right now, he is doing an okay job of keeping that knee next to my hip because he's thinking that I'm looking for mount, not realizing that actually I like this position. What I'm going to do is isolate that arm. So you see that arm, I've got 2 arms around it. I'm isolating his right arm now, thinking, right, I need to get this in front of me. Now, I think he's starting to realize that, so he's sort of not defending the mount as much, because he's like, okay, he's not going to just transition straight to this, which kind of makes me think that he's an MMA guy. Like, I tried a knee from this position, but I'm just like, I don't want to hurt this guy. I want to get that arm. I want a submission. So I start working for the arm. I'm just like, all right, he's hugging me. I get it down. I almost pinned that down. I'm looking to get that Americana. He manages to frame correctly on my head, but he's putting both arms on my shoulder instead of framing on one of my hips. So now I've got that. Yeah, there you go. I've got one of the things I like in side control is grabbing the opposite shoulder and putting my elbow down so my forearm goes across their neck. I love that pressure. If someone doesn't move, that can get a submission, but it makes them react. And you can see that he's immediately sort of had to move to get that position and hopefully open his arm up for me. But then he's holding me down. I'm going for that neck again. I'm going to put pressure down to make you... There you go. He has to defend the neck. Grabbing both arms, he has to let go to defend that neck. He starts trying to turn over, and I've got that arm. Okay, so I've pinned it down. I've got it down. But look how bad that is. Look at that. Look at that angle. That is so cringy. Like, obviously I'm tired, I'm nervous, I want to win. This is a tournament, everyone's staring and shouting at me. So when I've got the Americana locked up, what was difficult was trying to get the exact grips I'm used to because of the gloves. But as I'm pulling in, you see that my shoulder has come off the ground, which is giving him a bit more flexibility to resist. I should have pinned that arm to the ground and revved the engine to lift it up, which I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, right, I'm going to bend this arm the wrong way, which is not what this Americana is. This shoulder lock, I need to get it down and the elbow into the side of him. So I've got this, I'm just like, is this not working? But look, put the pressure down. Dean, down! Put it down! There! Hold it in, pull it in, and then start revving. You see, I started to get it there, almost had it, and he starts getting desperate, starts trying to book. He feels, when I had my chest up, he was light. He was like, okay, I can resist this. But as soon as I got it down to the ground, that's where he starts panicking. And that's where he's like, right, this is hurting, I'm going to have to submit. He starts booking up, which is good. This was very powerful. He'd fought the other guy as well, the same guy that I fought. So he wasn't coming into this exactly fresh himself. So for him to have this sort of power to explode, I mean, like, this was a lot of effort for him. Okay, so now he's got the frame on my neck and he's had the frame on the arm. But what he'd done with the arm, instead of putting his forearm across onto my hip, he put his hand out. So I was literally trying to grab his hand to put it in between my legs so that he could not use that arm to defend. I'm going to go for that other arm again. And then, there we go, I've wrapped up that arm. Okay, so now I've got his neck and I've isolated that arm. I have fully committed. I start going for that Americana again. He's trying to free his left arm, but it's wrapped between my legs. But then we start falling out of the ring. Oh, and he manages to escape because of it. So at this point, I was like, oh, no. He's obviously very much, I need to get back into this. I need to make some damage. I want to put him directly back into that position. But he stood up because he was coming out of the ring. He manages, he's dragging me out of the ring as well. I let go of the pressure. So then he jumps back up, which was good on him for using this. I've never fought in a ring before. So that was something I was like, I feel like I'm going to fall out of this ring. So he manages to get up to his feet first, and I'm on my knees. And as I said, this guy seemed more of like an MMA or a kickboxer because he was very much into the striking first. Okay, so now it's like, okay, I need to dive into him. I want to grapple him and get him to the ground. There is no points for striking. I need to put my game onto him. But he was like doing leg kicks. I was like, you know, okay. This is grappling. That's how we're going to win. But he was using this as MMA experience, I guess. So he goes for the kick. I stuff him into the corner. I'm trying to pick him up again, but he's managed to get an underhook on me, which means I can't duck down for his legs like I did before to slam him. So it's like, okay, he's learned from last time. He could have stepped across and like judo flipped me there. I've tried to grab that leg. I'm going for the same move, but he manages to stuff it. And that's where he starts nailing those knees. Now, I'm not sure which knee does it, but I'm just like, I'm going to eat these shots to get in close to you. I'm going to grapple you. I want to get you to the ground. And one of the knees hits me right in the solar plexus, right in the middle, right in the button. And it feels like I got electrocuted. Right. So I've still opened my head for that guillotine, like always, but I'm just confident he's not. That was the end of the round. So I felt like I won that round because of the transitions of I managed to take him down. I managed to get to side control. I don't think they was doing advantages, but was quite close with that Americana. He manages to get up. He landed some strikes, but there's no points for striking. So at this point, we're both tired. But we are starting from the stand-up, and I need to get him down to the ground again, while he was willing to sort of trade blows. So round 2, I am not in any fighting stance. No kickboxing or boxing or Muay Thai stance, okay? I need to get him down to the ground. Now, I have stand-up. I started as a kickboxer. I know if this was a kickboxing match, the exact stance to take. But I was tired, and I'm like, I need to get in close and take him down. So he's kicked me in the leg, and he's pushed me to the side and threw me off. It was a bit of this is going to drag out. I need to get him down. Okay. So there, drive straight to the middle. I'm wrapping him up again. Again, I'm just going to eat the shots as I'm going in because I need him to... He's going for those leg kicks. I was like, there's no point. I need to get him down. I've got the underhook. He's got the underhook. I'm pulling this. One of these knees did it. And I was like, oh! Oh, God, I don't want to eat another one of those. I need to either commit to do some stand-up or get him down. So I'm continuously pushing him, putting the pressure on him. He's having to carry me. He's managed to get the underhook. This is where he kind of makes a mistake. I think he's given me double underhooks. Or at least one good underhook. He's fighting to swim for it again. He's managed to push me. That's the one. Oh, that knee stung. Felt like electricity. The whole time I'm eating these shots, I'm just like, I don't care. You're not hitting me in the face. You're not knocking me out. It was that knee where I went, ugh! I was like, okay, I've got to be careful. Okay, I was arrogant in terms of this guy's never going to hurt me. That one hurt. So I was like, okay. That's where I started thinking, right, do I go for a fighting stance? It's like, okay, do I fight him? Do I fight him? No! Go straight for that leg. Every time he kicks me, grab a leg. He starts putting his weight on top of me, but I think we start falling out of the ring. But the ref puts us back in the same position, and I'm immediately thinking, well, I've got that leg, I'm driving forward. Boom! That was unfortunate. So he was defended before. Now, he's managed to gap that head again, which was a bad move, but I've moved my head to the inside to defend myself, dragging him into the corner. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to drag him in. So I'm going to start trying to wrap those legs and just pull him into the middle to get that top position. He's not really got anything on my head. Like, he's got that grip, but it's not on my neck. So I'm just like, I am sitting in this position. I'm just going to open up that leg, stretch him out, because I want to put him on his back, but I don't want him to be able to stand up again. So I get free. I've got that head. Then we get to this position here, okay? Kind of like a 50-50. If he pushes me and takes my leg, I'll fall over. This is so this is going to be the way we are. The way he's got an angle and I've got an angle. We've both got one post on the ground, so one arm. So it really becomes a competition of who's going to pull the arm out first. So he restarts us, and I'm like, I'm gonna pull that arm first. I managed to go straight to mounts. He's got the underhook, so I get the points for that. I start looking to get my posture up. He's just trying to hold me at this point. I'm putting my forearm across his neck like I like to do, and I'm just going to start pushing off to get that posture up. Okay, I've got that posture now, and now I'm thinking, right, what do I do from here? I don't want to necessarily give up this position, so I start going for the Ezekiel choke, the no-gi Ezekiel, and he starts gurgling. I can feel him gurgling. I was just like, oh, I've got this. I'm pushing down. I'm in the corner of my ref, with my coach, but he manages to giggle free. And I say, all right, I've still got control, it's fine, but I don't want him to come out of the ring again, because that's how he got away from me last time. So I'm just like, all right, in this position, I'm just going to start doing some really sort of soft, I'm so tired at this point, but soft punches. He starts trying to knee me from behind. He starts trying to... So at that point, I knew it was near the end, because my coach and my teammate telling me it's near there, like 10 seconds left, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, I'm just going to go out with something. So I start landing punches. Now, he wasn't that happy with me near the end of this. Now, if we go back to where I do the sort of Wolverine scream. So I start laying down punches, pushing him down. And I do that sort of Wolverine scream. I'm getting it right. And at this point, I think I got maybe 2 punches from the solar plexus. I think one of them bruised, like sort of maybe caught a chin a little bit. So you can see, I thought he was going to go for me again here, because he was really angry. Now, might just be because I was sort of grappling, putting him down the whole match. Maybe it's frustration. But afterwards, in reviewing the video, I was like, you know what? Maybe like did one of those catch him on the chin a little bit, and it's just like, hey, there's no headshots. But that was like the last MMA fight I did, and competition. I took time off from jiu-jitsu at this point, and then didn't really come back to it, and didn't really come back to full competitions until purple belt. And even then, I've not really competed as much as I used to. And just look at the categories now. Battle grapple or strike and grapple doesn't seem to be really a thing anymore. It doesn't seem to be. Most competitions don't seem to offer it. I know this is the sort of Eddie Braven combat jiu-jitsu one, where they're out to slap, but not the same as the battle grapple or strike and grapple. So it's been a while since I did that, and I got gold. But that was it was an interesting situation to be in. I've done a few strike and grapples, but it's always been on mats. So it's very interesting to go against someone that in a ring, where the ring could be used as a positive and a negative. But then it was also a bit weird to fight 2 people that were clearly kickboxers. I think the other battle grapples I've done, it's been either very MMA fighters or wrestlers with a bit of grappling, a bit of striking. Now, what I'd seen after, around the same time, some people had started to realise that they could submit people with strikes. So they would do stand-up and just sort of drive forward, punching to the chest. And a lot of people couldn't handle it and would sort of verbally tap or tap out strikes, which potentially sort of kind of ruined that, because this is literally meant to be jiu-jitsu, and the striking is just to mix it up to show that there's other things that you could get stuck in. Right, hopefully you enjoyed that. It's a lot of me rambling about that, but those are kind of the things that were going through my mind at that time. I look back on it now and it's like, okay, I understand where I was and what I was thinking of and what I should have done. But I'm thinking it's been enough years now where I'm just like, okay, I'm not that cringy. Like I was still learning at the time, and I'm still learning now. All right, cheers guys.